Hello and welcome back to Upstart Football Weekly. I'm Shane Palmer and with me, as always, is Jake D'Amato. Jake, how are we?
Good, thanks, mate. Good to be here.
Sunderland versus Tottenham first up. Tottenham sit equal on third with Arsenal after a good 3-1 win over Swansea last week. Sunderland, on the other hand, they played all right against Manchester City. They got 3-1 up before eventually City drew it back thanks to a thunderbolt from Kolarov. Jake, thoughts?
Well,
what's going to happen this week?
It's very interesting now, isn't it? Arsenal in a bit of danger of losing third, so more exciting towards the end of the season now. And I think Tottenham will get up pretty easily.
I think Spurs can beat them 2-0 here.
Next up, we have Swansea and Newcastle. Newcastle had a strong 2-0 win over Liverpool last week, and with Pape Cisse, the January signing, starring, they're looking the goods.
They did, and while Cisse scored 2 against Liverpool, Andy Carroll, Newcastle's ex-target man, he got subbed off pretty early and had a big sulk as he went down the tunnel. Newcastle are 10 points above Everton, who are their next closest on the table, and they should really look to tie up a Europa League spot at the end of the year. Meanwhile, Swansea, they've had a good first season up, and they look poised to stay in the Premier League this year. After they were competitive against Spurs last week, even though they went 3-1 down. I think Newcastle should get the points here. They'll win 2-1. Jake?
Yeah, about the same. Probably 2-0.
Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Liverpool's woes continue this season after a 2-0 loss to Newcastle last week. If the season had have started on New Year's Day, Liverpool would be sitting 19th on the table. Only Wolves have had a worse 2012. Your Wolves, Jake. The Champions League is probably out of reach for Liverpool. They're 16 points shy of 4th place. I think Villa will get a point here, 1-1.
I agree. Liverpool, horrible form at the moment. Expect a draw.
Yeah.
The next game is Norwich and Everton, which is a bit of a nothing game, really. Neither team with much to play for besides Everton, just a bit of bragging rights. So, not really that interesting. And probably a draw here, playing Norwich at home.
Yeah, I think Everton are just playing for bragging rights at the moment over rivals Liverpool. If they're sitting a couple points above the Reds at the moment, and that's all they got to win. But Norwich, they're playing all right this year. That'll be 2-2.
Sure.
Next, Chelsea versus Wigan. Torres back in scoring form.
I hope so. He's exciting.
He's doing well. You know that FA Cup match against Leicester City a couple of weeks ago, where he just knocked one in. It's slowly starting to build a bit of momentum for him.
That's exactly what he needs. It's still not going to be worth £50 million, but it's a start.
It's a start. And Di Matteo, do you reckon he could stay at Chelsea this year?
If they finish as well as they are playing now, then yeah, there's no reason why he shouldn't. Unless, of course, they can get someone better.
They should really get past Wigan. 3-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah, 3-4-0. It could be a barrage, really. We want Wigan to go down. Next, West Brom host Blackburn. West Brom were in good form until recently, and Blackburn a bit of the same story. With both teams out of form, could be a bit of an interesting game, but I think West Brom will get this one.
Well, Blackburn a bit up and down. They're in and out of the relegation zone every week, and they got beaten by Man United at home last week.
Nothing
but it was 2 late goals in the 80th and I think the 85th minute, which made the difference. But they played all right, and they could stay up this year. Here, I think they'll just get a point, 1-1.
I'll go West Brom, 2-1.
Next up, we have a new segment, our Goal of the Week. While we can't, due to copyright law, attain the high quality footage, we have got a slightly lower quality version.
I'd say probably higher.
Potentially higher.
Potentially.
Bale heads down the line, puts in a cross which is cleared, but not far enough. It's Van der Vaart!
Lovely strike and a lovely finish from Van der Vaart there.
Bad.
Yep, Spurs, they're doing all right. These kind of goals, that's what makes the Champions League for you. Next up, we have Bolton versus Fulham. Jake, your Wolves unlucky against Bolton last week, 3-2.
I believe the quotes from the commentators were, Bolton are cheats, and this is the cruelest game I've ever seen. So we felt a little bit hard done by us Wolves fans, and we'll be pretty keen to watch Fulham given a flogging this week.
Well, I think it could happen. Bolton, I don't know if they're really Premier League standard. I reckon Fulham will give them a beating here, 2-0.
Let's hope so.
Stoke hosting Wolverhampton next. This is a tough trip for the Wolves, who, sitting on the bottom of the table, Britannia Stadium is the last place they would want to go, desperately looking for points. This could be tough, mate.
I don't think we're scrapping anymore. 6 points out. Yeah, I think we're done. But positive, I don't know. We've got a better record away from home, so I'd rather be playing away than at home this
At the
moment.
Molineux,
So
yeah.
Molineux hasn't been good, so we'll lose, but might have a crack.
2-1 to Stoke.
Nah, 2-1 Wolves.
Next, Manchester United versus QPR. Manchester City manager Roberto Mancini all but declared the season to be over if United beat QPR at Old Trafford this week. United looking pretty solid at the moment. It took them a long time to score against a plucky Blackburn last week. David De Gea made a lot of good saves to keep out the Rovers, but QPR, they're not quite there. I think United will win and really push for title number 20.
Yeah, I don't think it's over if they win. It's still going to be the same difference this week, next week. It's not going to make a difference. I think the main game's really this April 30. That's what it's waiting for.
The last match of the season. It could be interesting there.
City United, that's the one.
And finally, to wrap up the week, Arsenal are hosting Manchester City. Manchester City will be desperate to get wins against sides like this in the title run-in to keep their season alive and try and close the 5-point gap on crosstown rivals Manchester United. Arsenal, a little bit cold the last couple matches. Van Persie, he's not really scoring as he was, although he's always got the potential.
He scores when he wants. He'll score when they need it. He probably will score this week.
I think there'll be goals here, 3-3.
3-3? Jeez, big call. I reckon City, 3-2.
3-2?
3-2.
And we're just about to run out of time, but here we'll give a quick look at the current standings.
Manchester United sit 5 points ahead of Manchester City, while Arsenal and Tottenham are tied for third place, with Chelsea and Newcastle not far behind. At the bottom, Bolton, Queen's Park Rangers, Blackburn, Wigan and Wolverhampton are all battling to avoid relegation to the Championship.
That's all we have time for, but thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.